Toncha, call it Toncha, Buncamper, affectionately known as Toncha. Where you get that name from? Welcome, first of all.
Good afternoon, Mike. Thanks for having me. Oh boy, the speaker here, this Mike, yeah, she's running with me.
Use this one.
This one better?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. How you say? Where I get that name from? Look, my name is...
I just realized I never even asked you.
No, my name is Claudius Anthony Buncamper. And my father's the same, Claudius Anthony. So they used to call him Tony. And then they call me Toncha, the small Tony. Yes, that's how that came. The ch. Because in Dutch, the ch means smaller.
Small, okay.
Yes, I was a smaller version to my father.
Okay, so it's daddy's fault. All right.
Not bad.
That's the thing. People think your first name is Toncha.
No, yeah, but well, everybody know me either Toncha or Bunks, you know.
Bunks.
Yeah. But my real name is Claudius Anthony.
Buncamper.
Yep.
Number 2 on the now slate.
Yep.
Thank you for being here once again. Because when we go, you get straight to the people and to what's going on. Just like the party leader, MP Emmanuel, I want to start off with asking you if you know what is actually happening with the people at Tenet. Do you have any insight if they're actually going to be layoffs or not as to what's going on over
Look. There was a whole mongering going on Facebook and between the union and eventually the management of TLM. Well, not the CEO, the CFO took the lead in this one, writing up the union that why they came out with this information and they wanted the people to have a much better Christmas. What kind of BS is that?
Yeah.
If you're going to lay me off, you got to tell me from now.
Yeah.
Don't let me spend all my money for Christmas and then I hold in my head afterwards because I didn't know I was getting laid off.
Right.
Look, I think that the company needs to restructure. I'm sure of it.
Yeah.
And it is going to digitalize and it's going to go into different fields. I'm sure of it. Look, AI is taking over. Artificial intelligence is taking over.
Yes, sir.
And that's happening also by the police.
Yes.
It's going to happen all over. Immigration, all over.
Right.
Technology, all over.
Yes.
Medical,
Same thing.
so again, it is something that you have to now take your people and transition your people to, get accustomed to what's coming and how it's coming and how they can be part of it. Now, not everybody's going to be able to, go along. People are getting close to retirement age. I am sure that's the group that might flow off a little earlier, maybe a year earlier, and you make sure the severance pay is in accordance with such, or you make sure that it's gapped properly.
Right.
I think it's unfortunate that this type of information is held back, actually, because it isn't now that TLM is talking about digitalization. They went to Kanto a few years ago, they came back and what all they were going to do, if you can remember those, and then came that deadly SYB report.
True.
A report that I was fortunate to read. Let me put it that way. And what I read in there shook me to the core. And I said, wow, that there's mismanagement or alleging to mismanagement, that's factual. That happens in every report you read.
Yeah, correct.
There's always going to be a finger pointing, but you could have done it so.
Right.
Why didn't you? Now, most of the time, hindsight is 2020. So I'm not going to go down that field and say, oh, it was this or oh, it was that. But I think the Prime Minister played a very dangerous game with it. Come out, discuss it, close the doors, give everybody a report. Look, do you make such a report public? The argument was, TLM's secrets would come out and their competitors and their financiers would see their positions. Nonsense. The report that I read didn't go down that road. The report that I read showed structural mistakes and structural realignments that TLM had to do and didn't do, or did it but didn't do it right.
Right.
That's what the report really showed. Look, that TLM messed up with Mer, that's factual. That contractors got hurt. That contractors got hurt and all those things. That's factual. That you brought in a new one and the money has been spent and the project ain't finished and the banks ain't lend you money. That's factual. Well, you think the banks don't know what happened? That's why they ain't giving you the new loan. Yeah. So again, let us not beat around the bush and say, oh, if this report got out, this and this would. No, I don't agree with
that. But
it.
once a report hits Parliament, is it public?
No, not necessarily.
Okay.
Not necessarily.
Okay.
There are reports, when they're sent, they can be sent in a confidentiality mode,
Okay.
which means you won't get the report and it won't be booked in.
Okay.
You can go and read it. It's there for Inzaka. You can read it. No pictures, no notes, no nothing.
Yeah.
If you got a good photographic memory, you can remember most of what's written there. You understand? So, no. But the thing is this. And it happened with other reports also that they had sent them. You remember when they had a whole garbage tender? They sent the reports, but you wasn't allowed to use nothing.
Yeah.
But you could look at it.
So a lot of things happened this week, MP. Please let's start with the historic.
Please.
Side. I just use it.
You know,
I use the words they use.
Yeah, but I find it
historic
such
signing for
Look,
the
Mike,
Justice Ministry.
for 13 years, it wasn't done.
Right.
And I'll give the Minister of Justice credit for the fact that she stuck to it.
Right.
She stuck to her guns and she kept pushing to get it done. But Mike, getting things done and not paying the people, leave it the way it was then, because you ain't give me nothing. What you have now caused, though, is that people that were paid 4 years ago, when Duran made this stunt and paid 50% so-called, now they're being told they got to pay back the money. So what did you really help me with?
What do you mean pay back the money?
Some people seemingly got paid more than they should have gotten paid, so they got to pay back the money, they're saying. And this is a problem. So while I understand you must legislate it correctly,
right.
And in my opinion, it all depends which minister you ask, if it was legislated correctly and what the Leol said and what the Leol didn't say. That was the whole immigration fight.
So I mean 4 years ago it was illegal. They're gonna pay it back then. It was
You
illegal.
just said it. Remember, the minister said historical legal side. So what others was illegal. You said it. There. Remember, the prime minister went up on stage in Sakaga and said, "Little black boy commit crime."
Yeah.
It wasn't Buncamper, and nobody bawled when Buncamper delved into it.
Right.
Because that was going to happen now. They opened Pandora's box. I always tell them, when you go on stage, be careful what you say. Be cautious with what you say. People go there. I see the leader already. He say he going down in the dirt. Well, I'm happy our trailer's not a high one. So if I jump off, I ain't gonna fall. Because it is remarkable what's happening.
Yeah.
You know, there is, Mike, what I have seen come out of the government building in the past 30 days.
Amazing, huh?
Is it not amazing? It's absurd.
Yeah.
Because 90% means nothing. There is a few things that come out. And I ain't going to take away that little boost from them.
Yeah.
But please, don't come out. They come out with this whole cola nonsense. And what did it entail? Because first they said, from 2012 up to now, then they told the union, yeah, cola is not mandatory for us to pay.
We don't have
so
to pay.
we don't have to pay it.
Yeah.
But you made people believe they were getting the money.
Right.
You created a hype. And then you delivered a carrot.
Right.
Because what they did is they took the cola of the last year of 2023, and that's what they paid out.
Yeah.
They paid out 2023 cola. Just take your salary, take 1%, you're going to see what you got on your salary. So, but that's one thing, Mike. There's so many other things. Then you hear them promising people, we're going to raise your vacation allowance to 8%, we're going to give you a Christmas bonus, we're going to raise your salary with 2%, then 2.5%. What for nonsense? Where are you getting the money from?
Yeah.
One, you don't have the money. Two, the law's not in place. So again, I'm saying, you see, because that's the same thing with the Minister of VSR with, he raised the minimum wage.
Well, I sit here on the air, and I know the minister very well, but I have to disagree with that. I'm a small business owner, so I know what's coming.
It's absolute nonsense. I think Cedric was on point when he touched it. Listen, does the minister have a right to raise minimum wage?
Of course.
Sure he does.
It is a noble effort.
It's in his powers to give a ministerial decree saying, these are my administrative decisions and intentions.
Correct.
Those that don't need a law, we apply. Those that need a law, get the law. And to raise minimum wage, you need to have a law. There's a landsbesluit needed for that raise. It isn't that you have one landsbesluit and you could keep raising. That's not how it works. Because if another man reaches there, he said, well, I go to 18 guilders, then what?
Yeah.
Then you have Pandora's box. So the law protects the ministers from ego tripping.
Right.
You have certain rights and limitations. They limit you and tell you, but for this you would need a law. And to raise the minimum wage, he needs a law.
Right.
You know, look, And the minimum wage needs to be raised. Now, the Now Party was very cognizant of such. And we said, raising the minimum wage is a good gesture, but we need to reach to a livable wage. And to get to that livable wage, we said, let's find a subsidizing program. How many people do you need to subsidize? What is this going to cost you? How do you transition that over the years that it becomes sustainable? How do you create a tax package, a tax reform that can carry that burden? Now, all of the rest of them talk a lot of nice things. Check our manifesto. We give solutions to it. We explain you how we believe we can do it. We guide you. When I keep hammering on cannabis legalization, it is such a important economical pillar that will receive most probably more tax than what we collect right now on a whole as this island. But we find 150 reasons to, like how you and Chris was talking just now. We ain't good enough to do it. Yeah. Let's bring in the Canadians. Yeah. Let's bring in this one. Oh, come on, man. You know, I hear them. You're qualified. Only you can save us. But you don't give us that opportunity. Mm-hmm. So this is my problem. And because it's politics, you know, I like to, when I do politics, I like to talk structure, solutions, manifesto. Right. Our manifesto was the first one out. It was public for everybody to see. Right. We had it already for months, but we held it back because we didn't want carbon copies showing up. And as we put out ours, it took a few weeks after that, everybody started carbon copying and coming with it.
Language the same, yes.
Same solution, same structure, different language, different writer. Yeah. So this one write it this way, that one write it that way. But same thing that the Now came with. No, I don't have a problem. I'm happy that all of them have gotten onto the Now bandwagon and stopped drinking the NA and the up Kool-Aid. Yeah. Because they got Kool-Aid drinking that got them thinking they're Superman and Superwoman and all. Listen.
I have to be in line with that question because right now you swear nothing. Everything is heaven?
Yes. And that's why CFT just slapped the Minister of Finance into yesterday.
What is it?
And told him that all your 2021 year report is not in touch with reality. You are creating a picture that's not actually true. That 145 million you say you save, and it's only 97 now because now you're within the scope of, because remember, the scope was 178 million. The Council of Ministers in the Netherlands said, if you're within that deficit, you're okay. They were 200 and something, 230, 240. Suddenly, miraculously, they're down to 97. Right. Why? Because the Dutch subsidy that they got, they put that in as income. That's not income, that's subsidy. You're doing as if you earned it. So your deficit prior to subsidy remained at 200 and something thousand. Right. So you're creating a farce, a wrong picture. So the accountants, the General Audit Chamber and CFT told them, nice try, but no cigar. You ought to pass it and all that. Nice. But please, go back and get some lessons in how you do proper accounting. Now, it's unfortunate because while they worked very hard on trying to reach to a certain level, this part of the picture shows that maybe while you had the right intentions, you put the information wrong and you created a picture that isn't genuine. St. Martin is not in such a prosperity position as they made believe. Oh, we got this. And yes, you got. But in reality, all the 20s of millions turned out not to be that. And then you hear them talk about the capex. Capex is a loan. 69 or 60 million guilders. Again, loan. It isn't that you generated this. You know, and this is the problem. When you blend money, Mike, to invest in something that there is no return on investment, that means you just got 60 million poorer. Right. Because that road ain't going to give you an extra money. The people are paying the road tax now, with a bad road or a good road. Yeah. You have to invest it in places where there's a return on investment. Hospitals are return on investment. Harbors are return on investment. Airport are return on investment. The problem that I have with those right now, a GB, the same. Those returns don't come home. Airport, harbor, especially, they have that they can use all the taxes that are levied at the airport to pay back loans and restructuring. The problem we have with it, as now, and we said it also in our manifesto, is the loan agreement you had, for that, yes.
Yeah.
Any new loan agreement, make sure you're financially sustainable to do that. Because you're not going to keep the government tax, bring back that money to the government, let the coffers them get back some money. If you're going to take a loan right now to do anything, I would have said, take the loan and invest it in GB. GB needs that help. TLM needs that help. The difference is restructure the management, restructure the financing control within the company. Because right now, if you leave them arm's length, as they like to say, and they could do what they want with the monies that are being injected and you can't really touch it, then we have a problem.
The Democratic Party, what Khalil Rivan mentioned lately when he was talking about GB, he was talking about starting with a zero sum. Starts for wipe out everybody bill from zero, and then government bailout GEVE.
Please.
Do you agree with such an approach?
Absolutely not.
Okay, why?
For the simple reason. If you have a problem, take your responsibility, make an agreement. Even if it's a 5-year agreement with GB. Because scratching it means GB ain't getting that money back. If they got 30, 40 million of their government don't have $1 million to spare. So where they going to get a 40 million? That means you're telling them go and take a loan. No, that's why I said, if you're going to take a loan, yes, help GB. Get them into the solar world. Get them into this climate change craziness. Everybody's screaming, but nobody doing. 200 million euros, Mike, is available right now. All St. Martin has to do is make a sustainable project where there's an economical spin on it and it touches alternative energies. For God's sakes, GB can tomorrow walk into either windmills or solar panels and create this. Bonaire have solar. Kyoto have solar. Aruba, Sabre, Station have solar, except St. Martin.
Yeah.
So I am saying, yes, we're the hurricane belt, so Sabre Station.
Yeah.
There are windmills that we can put up in this country that we can at least make 15, 20% of GB's turnover into renewable energies. And that would mean, Mike, that if you have 55 megawatt, on standard that'd be 11 megawatt. 11 megawatt, 20% of a $7 million a month bill. That is $1.4 million that you're saving on fuel every month. I'm not even talking, I'm just talking fuel and maintenance of engines. This is not rocket science. The problem is, we talk out of this side of the mouth and out of that side, but it's not the same sound. You see, you hear them talk about NRPB. NRPB got their agenda and they have their layout. How they're going to do it. Yeah. And their layout might not be the best for St. Martin. Let's be honest, look at waste. Yeah. Where are we with waste after 6 years? One place, nowhere. So, and this is the problem. Yeah. And I'm saying GB doesn't have 6 years. GB might have 2 years before it burns out itself financially, because when you hear 75 to 85% of the population of St. Martin owes GB, where are you going to wipe that out? Where are you going to get that money? Yeah. We did not win the Powerball in Miami, Yeah. So we don't have that kind of money to come and throw. Look, politicians got a lot of money, you can see it on the billboards. But that's not money to run a country. That's money to win an election or buy an election. But that's a different story.
Do you have an approximate how much loans this country currently have in terms of an amount of in terms of a figure?
About 1.4, 1.5 billion.
1.5
billion guilders.
With a B?
With a B, yes. Guilders.
Guilders.
Of which about 15% is the liquidity loans, the liquidity loans that we owe right now yet for
COVID. As a political party, from now with a number in mind, and knowing that you got to come into when you come in January 11th, that is a number that's going to be your biggest. Finances are going to be is the biggest reality you're going to have to face.
Yeah.
What is Now's plan to get I think by now I should say grandchildren out of that,
out of that debt.
Out of that kind of debt.
It means that your budget, let's say right now we play with a budget of 450, 475.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, your budget should be 600. That 125 million extra you want to start to generate, and you have to create ways to generate it, because you're talking about trying to generate 25, 30% more money per year.
Yeah.
Say you get 10% self.
Right.
That's 45 million. That money should start going to paying off these debts. We got to handle our debt. We can't keep praying Holland will write it off.
Yeah.
They're not. They're not going to write it off. And I keep hearing them in Parliament. And with monies that they owe us for slavery, they ain't writing off nothing. Because you went and lent the money.
Yeah.
Bottom line is, you lend it. You got to pay it back. Now, how do you pay it back? I think that needs a little more. I don't think I have enough time to sit down here today and explain it.
Right.
But it is something that you cannot just push aside.
Right.
That 1.5 billion is going to haunt you. If we want to secede from the central bank, and we want to dollarize the economy, and we want to have a monitoring system on our monetary system to be monitored through Holland for, let's say, 10 years to train your people and do it yourself. Yes, money will come free from the central bank, from the gold, and from our reserves, what it's worth. Now, those monies, you can say, I'm going to take some and start paying off my debt. Because the faster my debt is paid off, the faster I open myself to be able to compete on the world market when it comes to getting a loan at a good price, or doing things where, look, we can also sell. We are going to sell shares, up to 20, 25% shares in some of our well-established companies, so we can pay off the loan and eventually buy back the shares. Right. You know, they had to buy back shares once in the harbor, but we got it very cheap because it was the Netherlands. Yeah. But I'm saying there are ways of handling this, but we need to deal with it, and the now will deal with it.
The most interesting part I think about the meme now, where you hear a lot of people talking about the donation and opportunity is the wealth part. Yes. You're not saying make money, you're not saying get a little something, you're actually using the word wealth.
Yes.
I guess we're talking about generational wealth, starting to create generational wealth.
And you're hitting it on the head, because wealth is not that I have a pocket full of money. Yeah, that doesn't make me wealthy, because I came with nothing, I will leave with nothing. Right. But as long as we can create wealth within the families and it runs through generations, you get wealthy culturally. Because a lot of people forget those things, and they only think in money. But by us, wealth is more than just money. Right. We need to start understanding who are we and what are we. You know, and people like Clara Reyes and them there, I admire those people, because with all the barricades thrown up against them, they still push. You know, they still push. And there's a lot of wealth there. We have a lot of wealth in our environment. We just pissing it away, we chopping it away, we digging it away. And there are things you can do there. But naturally, when people hear wealth, they think on money. And yes, you all were talking about it, because I was preview sitting down here listening to all you. We were talking about supermarkets, businesses. And today, there are a few mums and pops yet. Yeah. But that's it. All the supermarkets are now, all our food is owned or managed, let me rephrase, managed by a group that came to Samaritan to live. Some of them were born to belong, but they don't show that often enough. Right. Same goes for building materials. A lot of what we had, we lost. Yeah. And yes, Mullet Bay used to be the icon of the Caribbean. It was the pearl of the Caribbean, you know, the gem of the Caribbean back in the 70s and 80s. Let us not mince no doubt about it. No words about that. Yeah. I traveled the Caribbean. I've seen a lot in those years. There was nothing like Mullet Bay. Mullet Bay was unique. Yes. It was unique. Will we ever have that again? No, I don't think so. No. Times have changed. People have changed. The industry has changed. The bungalow style has now become towers, you know. Yeah. So I think things have changed. And the wealth, how it was spread in those days when people would travel, come here, that too has changed, where we have now gone from the elite, the exclusive tourists that La Samana, Mullet Bay and all them, Don Beach and all them used to have, to more. We made a choice to go into tourism, cruise tourism.
Yeah.
It's a choice that some people say didn't pay off, others said it paid off. It really depends which side of the fence you're on.
How you look at it. Yeah.
How you look at it, you know.
Yeah.
If 1.4 million tourists bring in the same amount of money as 400,000, then we didn't go forward because the trouble we put our infrastructure through.
All we did is accepted a mass.
Yes, exactly. Right. We went to mass tourism, the backpack tourism.
Correct.
You know. But again, like I said, it is a faithful tourism group because 2 days after a hurricane, if Front Street and Great Bay clean, they come in.
They come back, that's true.
While those that come in the hotels, they can't come because the hotels are damaged. Yeah. So you see, it has added value. Yeah. And that's cruise tourism. It has that added value that they will come tomorrow. While the timeshare and the stay over tourists, they can come if the place mash up because there's no place for them to sleep. If there's no water, they come with their water off the boat. They can come with a bottle of water. They don't need water. They just want to drive around and take pictures and say how disastrous it was.
And so with Creative Wealth, I guess now have different programs and stuff, different ideas
yes.
of what they're going to create.
Well, let me give you one of them that I think is very generational.
Yeah.
Your mama and your daddy built apartments. And for them, that was, when I get old, this is going to take care of me.
Right.
But they don't get much money for the apartments.
Yeah.
Because people can't afford it.
Right.
But if we go into a livable wage, that means you gone from 1671 to 3552. The apartment can go from 300 to 550. That means grandma now getting 550 instead of 300. And that 250 is going to be part of the subsidy program where we will pay grandma direct. We ain't paying the tenant, we paying grandma direct. So we show grandma got a money.
Right.
That money don't get used for something else.
Right.
And they still don't pay grandma. That way, grandma starts to generate financial wealth. And with that, she can decide to build a third apartment or a fourth one. Remember, she's airing this down anyway. So it's within the generation. Right. Another one gets it and you continue moving on. So with housing, you can really create a lot of generational wealth. A lot of people have money in the bank, Mike. Yeah. A lot of people have land.
Yeah.
Bring them together. Bring the community together. You come with your money, this one come with your land, we build apartments, government rents them.
That's
everybody. So you need social homes. I just showed you how to get social homes without having to look for land or look for money.
Speaking of social homes, I don't know if you've been privy to any information because I had a minister here and I asked him about the Villanova, whatever it is.
You talking about Villanova hoax?
Yeah, no, I don't know. I'm not that. I'm not calling it a hoax.
I saw that in...
I asked him for some more information. He said the information will come from Mr. Washington from GB because the government don't want to get too involved at this stage. Are you privy to any information on what that is?
No.
Specifically, because
I was kind of surprised, to be honest with you, because it holds, how would I say, it's different sections. Right. Villanova is a pension fund that has employees in different government-owned companies on St. Martin besides GB.
Right.
Here you're going to take an asset from GB and make it available to the pension fund because the pension fund ain't going to just build on your land. You're going to turn over that land to them. You're going to turn...
Are they buying the land?
Well, they don't need to buy it. But they're going to have to make it available.
Right.
And wherever... Because remember, Villanova Pension Fund is going to take a loan through Villanova Bank.
Right.
Well, let's not fool ourselves.
Right.
And the bank is going to hold on to that asset as collateral. So GB's asset now became a collateral at the bank or a pension fund, whichever one they want to use. Right. But it ain't used no more. Because if this goes wrong, for whatever reason, be it GB, be it employee, the land gone. The land was bought as an asset to GB for cable yards, spacing, offices, whatever. So if you're going to change that, I want to believe with good corporate governance that at least the supervisory board had to sign off on this. Because for you to go and take pictures 2 weeks before elections or 3 weeks before elections, stating that we are going to do this, I want to believe there was proper authorization from above.
Well, I also want to believe that the minister would have read it which is which is why I asked him what it is.
That's a different story.
But he didn't, at this stage, couldn't say much. But if it's an MOU, then I guess the MOU outlines certain steps as next.
Exactly.
To get to a final
listen,
agreement.
let's be real. MOU is
a basis.
Yeah, MOU is a memorandum of understanding.
Yeah.
It could be one line. GB and Vida Nova want to go and build homes for the GB employees.
Right.
You know what's that? For the GB employees.
Yeah.
I ain't said for Vida Nova clients.
But I would include them.
Airport, different ones.
Yeah.
So if that is the case, then again, no harm, no foul. Is it that you're going to build homes there for the clients that want to buy, and is it a transitional home? Is it a permanent home?
Kind of
because in the past there was once a discussion like this already. Let us not do as if this is new.
Yeah.
In the past there was, what GB wanted to do was build transition homes.
Right.
So let's say they build 10, 15 homes, the TLM workers could rent it, the GB workers could rent it at next to nothing while they build their home.
Right.
So that they could, instead of paying rent, they could get a loan, build their home, and after a few years transition out. The homes are still good, another batch of people go in, and the process starts again.
Right.
That I know was thought up some years back. I think Chittick and them was involved in it too. I think so. I don't want to say before I call his name.
So you know who he is. He correct you quick.
Yeah, but I like it. No. He's a Mayborn like me.
Yeah.
We deal with it head on, straightforward, no nonsense. But I think they had a program like that in place. But I think Hurricane Irma came and that stagnated. Yeah, that stagnated everything.
Right.
So in that sense, I think if there's a memorandum of understanding going that direction, yes, then I think it is something that I can support. I can find myself in it because it has given the people of GB hope. But the minister have nothing to do there. Come with his vision, his whole housing vision, my backside. He got a housing vision. The man put posters of how he fixed Belvedere. NRPB fixed Belvedere. That's why Chris Johnson got upset and he went there, started up himself, and gave out the keys. Yeah. Because they were making a mockery out of it. Correct. They were making a mockery out of it.
Yeah.
But listen, like I said, Mike, that's for them. They want to fool the people. I can correct them and make sure that the correct stories out there. The vision for housing for St. Martin isn't there. Could talk a lot, but it isn't there. The last thing we were going to do was in Hope Estate.
Right.
And they were going to build phase 2 in Hope Estate. So if you had all this vision, why you start there yet? Why you come jump on GB bandwagon? Oh, we going to no, that's nonsense.
Yeah.
Don't jump on a bandwagon that's not yours.
I see you had some pictures with yourself, talking to residents, just I guess talking to them about their well-being in the districts, etc. Well, I asked MP Emmanuel the same thing just now. It's disturbing to see how much of this, we always like to say hidden poverty, start to come to the forefront now. And we start to see people on the road begging and people on the road sleeping, and Muller Bay becoming an attraction now for different kind of people looking for a handout. I mean, as a people representative vying for Parliament, I mean, how does this? How do you feel when you see these things? And it's something that comes to mind immediately. And how you're going to fix this? How you're going to address this?
It's not an easy fix. Let me put it that way. It's not an easy fix. Some people have started now suffering mentally because of the stress of being able to live, to make it, to feed their children. Listen, I read the census report, Census 2022, and a lot of people miss a meal a day, miss a meal a week, don't eat. In 6 months, they had difficulty, especially the seniors and the less fortunate. And Mike, when look, I am a member of the St. Martin Lions Club. I've been there for 33 years, and you see poverty, and we it's hidden, but it's there. And I hear so many people talk about the sustainable development goals. Now, there are two things in sustainable development: hunger eradication, poverty eradication. 1 and 2.
Right.
Poverty 1, hunger 2.
Right.
We do absolutely nothing in St. Martin when it comes to that, qua government. We do it through volunteer organizations.
Correct.
Vegan Food and others, Lions and others, Rotary, they try to feed people as much as they can. But it isn't a simple something. And this has to do with your immigration also, if you like it or not. When you allow people to come in and because of whatever reason, but they can't maintain themselves, or they're sending out 80% of their money to their home to take care of their family there, that's when you start talking about imported poverty. Because you're allowing something. I always tell them, go to Western Union and you will see where your money is going. And today it's not an issue yet because we have the Caribbean Guilder. But when we dollarize, we got to be careful with the flight of money. You see, you start losing the money because the money is leaving your country and it's not coming back. If it circulates within your country, that's a different story. It stimulates your economy. But again, that is, for some people, a ticklish discussion. For me, it's a straightforward discussion because you have to deal with realities. You have to deal with how do you solve poverty. Now, poverty, we believe it can be solved by giving people buying power. Buying power means they need more money in their hands. So either we tax them less and we assist with the subsidizing to move the poverty, but we have to set guidelines. It isn't that I'm going to help you to reach to a plateau, but you're sending the money abroad. That's why in the subsidy, that's why I said just now, the money going to grandma, who is the renter, who is the collector. So in that sense, to prevent it, you need help with schools, we'll help the school. Because there too, you have to really start being honest with yourself. What am I subsidizing? I'm subsidizing an institution. What is that institution giving me in return? If I look at my job market, if I hear, not
can the country handle what the institution is giving you in return?
Well, that's the big question because we have a one-pillar economy, basically tourism, and they don't need well-educated people there because all those positions are already taken by the American-Dutch Treaty. They're allowed to come in and work. They don't need a work permit. Americans can come in. They don't need a work permit. They don't need a residence permit. It's just going to notify the reach. Go and register at the census office, and they can go to work. So again, while I understand this worked well in the 50s, we are in 2020. The era 2020, we got to start looking at what's best for our own people. A lot of people are born in Samantha and have no place to go, only know Samantha. What do you do with these children? And they got to figure it out. No, that's easier said than done.
That's the immigration issue. There's a lot of talk of having a capacity when it comes to like cars and stuff like that. The island is fully kind of do we have? Are we getting to the point of capacity or past the point with people?
Look, we have
a
carrying capacity study that was done, and people doing as if it doesn't exist.
People doing as if we don't live on an island.
It exists, and this is why the collaboration between Dutch and French is so important because I can stop limiting taxis and I can start limiting taxis, limiting bus, and the French side keeps giving them out. But on the French side, at least that's properly regulated compared to how we just giving out for the sake of giving out. Well, I hear now finally they've gone to the Ombudsman, they filed a formal complaint and they have accepted it. It's going to be an investigation. It is sad. It's sad what happened. It's unfortunate that they use this for political mileage because it's an election. Yes, we used to do it in the past. I know it used to be done. I find it a pity that instead of us growing up, we just went back to the old habits and hope to hit a home run. I don't think the home run is going to get hit. I think they're going to get strike out. And then they might end up with more problems on their plate than they had already. But hey, every man for your own on this one. I have said my piece on it. I'm going to inform the public a little more on it as I get the information. But I think poverty, Mike, in general, we have a big problem. 75% OGB, 75 to 85% OGB, 54% that are on record by SZV earn minimum wage. 75% owns less than 3,000 guilders, and your livable wage is 35.52. So the math is there, the numbers are there, they don't lie. So when people come and tell you, oh boy, we have done so much and this country gone a place. Country gone backwards.
Because it's not addressing anything.
And then they come, oh, it's COVID, do it. And no. Aruba had COVID, St. Kitts had COVID, Antigua had COVID. So how come they gone forward? How come they're shooting through the roof, but we declining? Don't blame COVID. Don't even blame the Dutch for this one. blame yourself.
I think we're one of the few countries that I know of that didn't develop a post-pandemic plan, economic or otherwise. I can't remember. I've never heard of it. I've not seen it publicly.
I haven't. I think the only plan we made after COVID was the plan to how to deal with a hurricane with VGN, VNGI. And that was because the Dutch did it, and they said, listen, all that money I gave the airport, it's tied to the long-term disaster plan. That money going there. That money ain't going in the coffers. That money going in there to make sure if there's a disaster, there's 50 million, you can touch, or 75 million, whatever the amount is. Yeah. So in that sense, I would say that has been worked on. But economically, I don't want to say this didn't happen because I don't know. But to say a lot has happened and it made serious impact, no, it didn't, because the vendors market didn't come. I hear now they file a complaint on that too, because people are losing merchandise. Right? Yeah, precisely. Yeah. And I thought they said Royal Caribbean was going to build this or fund this, but I took note that Royal Caribbean basically taking a back seat. And I spoke about that on Wednesday, and some people said, boy, Bunks, you're brave. I said, no.
A back seat to what?
To investing in Samaritan, moving forward with Samaritan. Remember, they invested in the harbor, and they basically owned two of the 6 berths.
Yes.
So what I get the impression is because of this whole Zebek case, where Royal Caribbean became one of the people targeted for the $100 million, they say, you know what, you all figure this one out yourself. We don't need to be there.
Is that why we've lost some of the Royal Caribbean car?
I want to believe so. But this is my personal opinion. I want to believe so.
Because the merchants are complaining about what replaced them in terms of the type of
nothing
of tourists. Either nothing or a type. A European tours that is spending a thing in town.
No. I know some of the European tours, they get off the ship, they go to wherever tour they were going to. When you see 4 ships in port and 2 o'clock in the afternoon, Phillipsburg is empty, you got a problem.
Yeah.
You have a very, very serious problem. I saw a video to that effect. A lady was filming it and I said, wow, you know, that is rough. That is really, really rough.
But also the country is pretty ugly in terms of the infrastructure. Now, no, that was part for your thing, your know-how, you know how to do things. But when you look front street, you walk the front street, back street, just the place just ugly. I mean, what do you guys plan? How's now gonna make us look pretty again? Because this looks terrible.
When 12 years ago, give or take, when they decided to fix Phillipsburg, give it a new look.
Right.
My concern at that point in time was, how do we maintain this, people? Because if we can't maintain it, please don't build it. It will become a confusion. We have, up until today, 13 years later, we have a serious traffic issue.
Yeah.
People can't park, no place, people park on the sidewalks. We took away all the parking, but we never built parking.
Right.
So in the new Parliament building, that was when I was in Parliament, I was the chairman, we had a design made. And the design was 5 floors up, 2 floors down for parking. 500 plus parkings would help alleviate.
Right.
But I am saying, create parkings, 2-3 parkings through town, and take the Samaritan Taxi Association, have them employ some youngsters, leave them drive around with the golf carts from the parking lots, front street, back street, go back,
people,
just keep turning it.
Yeah.
Listen, you're employing people.
Right.
And at the same time, you're dropping the load of vehicles. We've got vehicles at the parking lots now.
Yeah.
Redo your sidewalks. Safety. As long as there's no safety, at night, every merchant is going to drop his shutters, which means there's no more window watching. Front Street is just dark. If the GB lights in on, it's dark altogether.
Yeah.
So, yes, there are different things to do, and there are different ways to tackle it.
Yeah.
Will it be tackled within a month after in office? No, it will be given thought.
Right.
But I think the stakeholders that can make a big difference is people got to come back and live in Phillipsburg. Yeah. When people live in a town, the town is lively and it doesn't just shut down at 6 o'clock.
We can't afford to live in Phillipsburg.
Well, again, we can't afford because we're doing it wrong.
Yeah. Well, there's no parking, there's no this. That
you just said it. The parking. So if we create the parking. And that's why I said you need to create a few parkings. You don't need 500 parkings in each place, Yeah. But if you got 30 or 40, that's where the people who live in can now pack. Don't need to go down in the alleys. There are a lot of things that we can do, Mike, but we must be willing to think out of the box and act out of the box, because that last piece is the problem. We talk it, we think it, but we're afraid to do it. Sometimes you just have to say, okay, this is what we're going to do, and please give us your input, but within the next 4 months we're doing it. So we can talk all we want, but come the 4th month we're doing it. So either we're going to be on board or you're going to miss the boat.
With what you're hearing now from the governing parties to the people of St. Martin in the election campaign, how would you classify what you're hearing now from them to the people?
Hot air. I want to say hot air, because too much of things that they are telling them are not true. They are taking credit for things they haven't done. When the NRPB does something, if there was one fellow on St. Martin could have taken credit, and I said that was Marcel Gums. Because he sat there in the steering committee. He was the one taking the blows for St. Martin and making sure that St. Martin got what they had to get. And then you had Clarence Connor with his team at NRPB. And they worked and they executed based on the rules and regulation set forth by the World Bank. Not the government. Government didn't decide that. That's why the government have nothing to say. Remember, the Minister of Education went get on real bad. All the schools is all the... You see anything change?
No.
Thank you.
Exactly.
The World Bank does what they have to do.
MP, you're coming out to the stretch. Coming on to January 11th. What are you going to what's next week? What are you going to, like, what's your next level now? What are you going to be doing with the people? What are you going to be doing with the voters to get them to understand that the now party is what they need now? I mean, what are you guys doing besides public meetings and stuff?
Mike,
what's your focus? What you doing?
And here's something.
Yes.
Like some people told me, Buncamper, why you didn't put up more billboards? Because people will see you and they'll know who you be. And I said, if I have to put up a billboard for somebody to know who I be, then I was never somebody. Then I was never somebody.
I don't think you need to put up a billboard.
No, but I know for young candidates, but I tell them, the money that you put up billboards with, let's say you spend $2,000, you might have been able to do something different, because people will see a picture, oh, beautiful picture. But who is that person? Kind of billboard won't talk. So you have to go into the canvassing aspect, go into the neighborhoods, but most important, get your family, get your team together and spread the word. Social media is for free. I use it all the time. I have my son and daughter, they help me make the graphics and so, because I ain't good at that, you know? So, but within our team, we have a few that are good in graphics, some of them are good in writing, and they get the stories out for us, try to get the media. And again, your story has to have substance. Too often we talk, look, I'll give you an example. Let me give a plug where I told you, 5%. I saw MP Bryson bring out the law with banking. That's a hell of a good law.
Yes, it is.
While we can differ on other things, where credit is due, credit should be given. And I think he did a great job there, because I myself sometimes find myself looking around and asking, but how is this possible? But hey, this is St. Martin. Like how Andrew says, St. Martin ain't a real place. Sometimes, you nearly want to go along with what he's saying. But I am from here, and if here ain't a real place, that means I ain't a real person either. Because we got to be real in our own country. We got to believe in our own people.
And some of these we've announced that new rates are going to be coming.
Oh boy.
So we'll see. But anyway,
But no, like I said, we're going to go into the canvassing a little bit. We are busy canvassing right now. Those that have flyers, maybe it's good to get you. Like I made some flyers. So I put them now. I start putting them in districts. I'm going to stand by some corners sometimes, give them out a little bit. But you give out a flyer. My flyer explains the manifesto in 4 pages. Just abstract.
Just enough.
But public meetings for me is get the message out. Sure, there are going to be political shots thrown.
Of course.
But that's normal. When they open the Pandora's box, I always tell them, if you can't take it, don't dish it. Because
or leave the tape on the box.
Yes, sir. Because when you untape it, or when you unwrap it, you might like the gift you get.
You're too slow wrapping it back up.
No, I think It's 2 weeks, Mike?
Yeah.
Less.
2
13
weeks.
days.
Yeah.
13 days to election day.
That's right.
And I believe, honestly, all the parties are going to really put the pedal to the metal. We are starting, like the leader Chris said, we are starting next week, the 4th. Yeah, we are starting on the 4th with our first meeting in Soccer Garden.
Right.
Yeah. We're going to shake up the garden a little bit. And we have a few more.
How many
We're going Soccer Garden, then we're going Ring Road, I think. Then we're going Cold Bay. Then we're going Belvedere. We got St. Peter's. Yeah, I think those are, we got, and they're back to back.
I was about to say, with 2 weeks, I mean, that's every night.
No, every night from the 4th to the 8th, every night.
All right.
And we did that because once you're in the drive, once you're in that groove, that's it, you know. And I think our candidates have now opened up to, hey, what is an election all about?
Right.
I've been around long enough, you know, with my wife before. Chris has been around long enough, so we have a good idea. Some of the others are newcomers. Some of the others have been around, but within teams of other parties, you know. So, no, but I think the people are receptive to the now.
Okay.
If I tell you no, I'd be lying to you, Mike. Honestly, wherever I go, people approach me.
Right.
People I don't even know, Mike. I've never spoken to them before, or
Right.
might have seen them but didn't recognize them. And they come out and, you know, Mr. Buncamper, you don't know me, but I'm going to support you.
Right.
I appreciate how you stand up for people's rights. You stand up for our rights. You know, you're the type of people we need. Not just bend over backwards when a little pressure hit you, you know. So I like that. I like that. I really appreciate the people that are looking at it. And, you know, like, let's be honest. Posters don't win a war.
No.
And money doesn't win a war. Yes, it influences it, but it doesn't win it. Because people shouldn't sell their vote. And I've always said it. If they offer you money, take the money and burn their backside at the polls. Because if that's the respect they have for you, it clearly shows that you weren't worth anything but the $200 or the $300 or the $400 or whatever they're giving you. That's what you're worth. No more, no less. You know?
Folks, we've been having a conversation with our MP Claudius Toncha, the small version of Tony, Buncamper. Toncha, any final words before we go until next time? We keep it back a few more times, John.
Well, Mike, I want to wish everybody a happy weekend. When you go to the different political meetings that you are going to be hearing the parties, listen, ask the questions. The one question you always have to ask is, how are you planning to do this? And when they give you the nice story, I tell them, how are you going to pay for it? Because that last one there, how are you going to pay for it? Most of them didn't figure that one out yet. They come with plans, but they don't come with how we're going to pay for it. And I think the Now Party in their manifesto made it very clear how we plan to raise the money we need for this country to move forward 2024 and beyond. We didn't talk about 4 years. We are talking about beyond. We're planning long term.
MP, thanks so much for being here. Good luck on the trail.
Thanks for having me, Mike.
Stay hydrated. We'll talk again next time. See
All
what come up in between to talk about. And I can't wait until next week.
All right.
I can't wait to you, Chris. Anyway, folks, keep it locked. We have some guests from the URL.